Guys, it's Bizarre Individual, and today it's going to be the first day of the 25 days of manga anime, and I'm going to go down nostalgia lane and name off the first five, first five shoujos that really made an impact on my manga journey per se. And two reasons why they're all shoujo as I'm looking at them is because I break up my manga into different categories, and my shelves broke, so all my non-shoujo and non-josei are literally stuck in boxes in a closet until I can get more shelves. Not that I like them any least or any less, but yeah. So, anyways, with that said, I haven't really got to look at the older titles of my shonen and see if um any fall into this category, but I believe that I have the first five mangas that I really got into in the stack right here, because the people that got me into anime mostly read shoujo, and then the animes that they introduced me to led me into these reading these mangas. So yeah, let's just begin. The very first manga that I ever read, if you already don't know, because I mentioned in a lot of my videos, was the Tenchi Volume 2. That's the first anime, was Tenchi Universe, that I ever watched, and then so that was the first manga, but I never really continued it. And the first manga that I ever really got into was Peach Girl. It is a shoujo, definitely aimed for older. A lot of people say that it's closer to a josei, except it's like high school, so definitely shoujo. But anyways, I really enjoy this title. It is about Moe's adventures, and she is, look at her on the cover, she is blonde, she has a tan. A lot of girls are jealous of her, and she's just really chill, and she just wants to be left alone. And a lot of guys get the wrong impression by the way that she looks. A lot of girls get the wrong impression about the way that she looks and acts, and she just wants to just be just a normal chick, and she definitely wants to just kind of blend in, and she definitely has a lot of guy problems because of the way that she looks, and she makes a lot of frenemies, as it's really big in this series. What I am really curious is, I do really want to reread this series. I might actually read it for the 25 days of manga, because I want to see if it holds up. This was my first experience with shoujo, so I didn't really have at the time anything to compare it to. So I'm really actually excited to see, with all like the tropes and everything else, that it kind of lines up, and it's an older one too. So I'm sure it took some ideas from other shoujo, but I definitely over the years have seen some um, things come up from Peach Girl. So yeah, this is one that I'm probably going to read during, even though it has nothing to do with Christmas. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I have Hudson's hair all over me. Thank you, Hudson. Okay, so next up is Mars. This was the first manga that I ever completed in full, like the completed series. It's 15 volumes plus one extra volume, and I, not that that's a big deal, but at the time when I was collecting, it was really neat to have a completed series, and this was my first, so I was quite proud at the time. But anyways, side note is, when I was reading this series, I was listening to the NSYNC CD, and every single time that I reread this, I hear the NSYNC CD playing, like in my mind, word for word as I go along, so that's kind of cool. And when I listen to the NSYNC CD, vice versa, I see flashes of this. It's just kind of funny how your mind works. But anyways, back to this manga. I really, really enjoy this manga. It is one of those good girl meets bad boy and they fall in love, and it's done quite well. Um, like I said, it's very shoujo. Um, really enjoyed it. There was a couple parts. He's big into motorcycles. There's a whole entire volume on motorcycle racing that I did not really enjoy just because it bored me. But overall, it is a really good story, and I don't remember the ending, so that's how long ago it was. And I think I reread it like 2 years after I got it, so it's been about 3 years since I read it. But I want to reread it because there's another one, Eternal Sabbath. It's actually a seinen that I read the first volume recently by the same mangaka, and it was great. So I do want to reread that sometime. Next up is I.N.V.U. This is one of my favorite mangas, but it's actually a manhwa. It's a Korean comic, and I just picked it up one day in Borders when I was with my friends in middle school, and it just looked really good, and I got sucked into the story at volume 1, and I think I made it to like volume 3, and then I think I stopped collecting manga for a while. And then the last 2 volumes were super hard to find. It is complete in 6 volumes, but the 6th volume wasn't even completed in Japanese. It was actually canceled, sadly, and it breaks my heart because I do not believe in scams. I don't believe in pirating, stealing, but this is one title that I was actually going to steal offline and read it in English because I thought that they finished it in Japanese. And I actually wanted to buy the Japanese volume, well, Korean volume, and I actually was asking one of my friends if she could pick it up for me, and I don't think she could find it when she's went to Korea. But anyways, I absolutely loved these. These are the 4 main chicks. They all have different personalities, and they all have different stories. This one being my favorite. She's the talker of the bunch. Actually, she has the least time in it, which is quite sad. So it definitely could have gone on for more than 6 volumes even, and played more into her. And yeah, it's just a really enjoyable, drama-filled series that I reread every single year. It's on my reread every single year, and it just flies by because I know the story so well. And yeah, I don't know what much I can say about it, but the guys in it are really hot, and I really enjoy it. And yeah, so yeah, I highly recommend that. The last volume 4 and 5 are a little bit difficult to find, but volumes 1 to 3 are quite cheap. I'm not going to talk about this series much at all because everyone knows about Fruits Baskets, but it is definitely one of my favorites and one of my strong series into getting into manga. The people that I hung out with in middle school absolutely loved the anime, and we would watch the anime over at the house like all the time. So I had to pick up the manga, and it did take me quite a while to complete all the series in the Tokyo Pop editions. I have the single issues, and then volumes 1 and 2 in this. But so it took me a while to finish that. But I do have all the Tokyo Pop editions finally. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about this, but I am rewatching. I'm actually for the first time watching the 2019 anime, and I'm absolutely loving it. And it's bringing back why I love the series so much in the beginning, and I kind of drifted off from the series to where I was like, oh, it's okay because I don't know, like I always knew that I really loved the series, but I forgot my love for it. I don't know if it's because I went through the time where I was like, I can't like this because I'm a guy. Um, I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but there was a time where I kind of started reading for what I thought people wanted me to read or expected me to read, and so this kind of just went in the back. But me rewatching the anime reminded me that, of course, it didn't take me that long to realize, but this one just kind of sat in the back burner, and me watching the anime, I want to go back and reread this. Now I kind of want to collect the new collector's editions. I absolutely love Fruits Basket so much. Kyo is probably one of my favorite characters, and I already am going to talk about him a lot in the 25 days of manga, so look forward to that. And last on my list, I just decided to put the top 5 is Hot Gimmick. Going back and rereading this, do not like this. This book is completely rapey and kind of degrades women in not an okay way at all, but when you first start reading manga, I thought this was like the greatest because mostly because of the side characters, but just because there's so much like drama in it, it just drew me into the story, and it was like nothing that I've read before, and since I didn't have much to compare it to, I thought it was a lot more deep than it really was, and going back and rereading this, I did not enjoy it at all. I actually don't recommend it, but it definitely is nostalgic, and it definitely brings back some really good memories of me reading it. So that was another discussion that I had of why keep something that you don't love, but I do love this because it brought back the time, it brings back the time of me reading it the first time, and I absolutely loved it. Even though I hate it now, I don't want to get rid of it because it reminds me of when I loved it. So anyways, we can argue about that all day, but yeah, it's just about this chick, and she's being blackmailed. She's actually sticking up for her sister, and her sister has a secret, and she's sticking up for her sister. She won't say that it's her sister, and which actually that's makes me like the story a little bit more. But anyways, she's being blackmailed by this guy to do sexual favors, and if she doesn't pretty much have sex, lose her virginity to him, then he's going to out her, and if that plot doesn't turn you off, then I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm just joking, I don't judge. If you want to read it, then read it, but I didn't like it. But anyways, this is me wrapping up my day 1 of going down nostalgia lane, and that's the first 5 mangas that really got me into manga, and some of them I dislike, some of them I absolutely love, and yeah, so anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for day 2 of the 25 days of manga.